You need to know this fact for the future. If you don't, it'll be very bad for you. Welcome back to FEMH, Foundations of Excellence in Mathematics, where math meets meaning and every lesson moves you forward. Today's episode is about two-step equations, because that's what you need to be in school, in life, and in equations. So, what are two-step equations? A two-step equation is just that, an equation where you need two steps to isolate the variable. Think of it like this: you're locked out of your phone. You need a PIN and Face ID. Not just one, you need both. That's two-step unlock. So, let's do some scenarios here. I'm going to screenshot this because we are going to want to write with our pen. So, let's start with this first problem right here. This first problem is 30 equals 6 plus 3b. So, to solve this problem, let's see here. Let's say you spent $30. So let's just say, here, let me make it a little bigger. Let's just say, say this little stick figure is you, okay? You're this little stick figure, okay? This is you. And you got a $30 bill right here. You got that fine cash. And now you see a very nice shirt. You look at that. Whoa! And you're so surprised. And then you see the label and it says it is $6. So you're like, yes, I'm going to buy it. And then you also realize that you need notebooks for school. And then you see a bunch of notebooks. And let's just say you see 24 of these notebooks. And then you wonder, how many notebooks can I buy without going over budget? That's what this question is basically asking. So let's do it. Let's imagine this. You just spent $6 with your 30. So you do 30 minus 6 because you subtract. That would be 24. So this means that after buying the hoodie, you have $24 left. Woohoo. So now you need to figure out how you're going to get. Oh, and each one of these notebooks is $3. So you have each notebook for $3. So you need to figure out how many notebooks you can buy without going over budget. Because if you buy too many, you could be in depth, and you would not want that. So we can buy, every single notebook you buy, you spend $3. So you subtract 3, and then you keep going until you get to 0. So 21, 18, 15, 12, minus 3 is 9, minus 3 is 6, minus 3 is 3, minus 3 is 0. All we have to do is count how many times we subtracted by 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can buy 8 notebooks. Now, a quicker way to do this problem is we can use division. Instead of constantly dividing by 3, we can instead of constantly subtracting by 3, we can actually just we can divide instead. So 24 divided by 3, that's 8, which means we can buy 8 notebooks without going over budget. So that means that B here must be equal to 8. Phew, we did it. If we got that wrong, we would have either had more money and we could have bought more notebooks for our studies, or we could have gone in depth. So that means if we didn't have enough notebooks, we wouldn't have the notebook for the class, and therefore we would have failed. So it's a good thing we have that skill in handy. So it makes sense, especially when you're building an empire with FEM. Okay, let's move on to our next problem. It says 23 equals 3n minus 7. So let's just imagine this. Let's just say this is you again. And let's just say you're playing a game of basketball. This is your basketball right here, You got a little basketball. You go ahead and color that thing up. Yep. There's your little basketball. This is you. And you're doing pretty good. You got, here's the scoreboard over here. This is you, and this is the guest. And so far, you're doing 23 points, and then the guest, let's just say he scored 15. And then each win gives you 3 points. But you had a 7-point penalty for quitting a match early. How many games did you actually win? So let's just say each win you got 3 points. So yay, woohoo. So you have a 7-point penalty, unfortunately. So how do you do this problem? Well, what we do is cancel out the 7, which means adding its opposite. So what that means is that we add 30, and then we make that equal to 3n. Now, to get rid of 3, we have to divide it by 3, right here, 3. So that means it's 10. So that means you won 10 games. Phew, if you didn't get that right, you would not be able to know the games. If you were interviewed, you could lie about your name because you didn't know how to do the problem, and then unfortunately you would be kicked off the team. But thank goodness we knew how to do that. That would have been really bad if we didn't. But we have our good boy here, and he did a good job. He gets a check mark. Woohoo! Alright, let's move on to our next problem. Okay, next problem. 2 equals 4 plus a over 8. So, let's just say, God dang it, why is this thing not working? Or because I have to, there we go, okay. So, let's see here. So, this is you got a little stick boy right here, as always. Okay, so you have $2 left. This isn't from the library. This is from the other thing. We have $2 left, and now, so this is you, let's just say this, we have a little baby boy. You paid $4 to your sibling for snacks, So you paid $4, this is you. Let's just say, this is your bro, and he bought some snacks, maybe he got some, like, popcorn, maybe he got some pizza, got some chips. Ooh, I could crave some chips right now. Alright, and the rest of the money was split into 8 equal parts. So how much money did you originally have? So if we walk through, we have to subtract 4 by 2. So 2 minus 4 is -2. And how I got that is, whenever you're subtracting by negatives, it's technically interchangeable. You can do 4 minus 2 equals 2, and then just add the negative sign. And now, if we multiply, oh, whoops, that's my button. Okay, if we multiply a and 8, -2 times 8 is -16 equals a. Now, since this is negative, you can't have negative money, which means, yeah, you started with -$26. That's right, you were in depth. Welcome to adulthood. And, whew, if we got that wrong, we would have thought we were richer than Bezos. But in this case, that's not true. So we would have instantly lied and would have got less trust in our peers. Okay, last problem for the day. Because here at FEM, we do 4 problems a day, every single episode. Okay. So, let's see here. -8 plus x over 2 equals 12. So, let's just say the temperature dropped fast. So, let's just say this person is the forecaster, She's like, alright guys, here's today's forecast. So, your forecast says it was 8 degrees colder this morning, but your thermometer shows the final temp was 12. So, let's imagine this. So, okay, so this is the TV screen. Let's just say that this was like you, this is you. You're watching TV, it says 8 degrees colder, it's a little colder than yesterday. And now you're looking at the thermometer, or in this case, say you have like a little, one of those clocks where like it tells you the temperature. Let's just say like it says, your clock says it's -12 degrees. So how much drop did it spread over time? So let's see what we got here. So we are going to add 8 to -12, and we're going to get, we're going to add 8 to -12, so that means, this will give us x over 2 is equal to -4, and then you multiply 2, and x is equal to -8. So you dropped 8 degrees total. It's cold, huh? It's now colder than missing an SAT question by 1 point, though. Whew, that was close. If we would have got that wrong, we could have gone outside and would have been slightly hotter or colder. And if we had a specific medication that told us we couldn't go outside because of specific temperatures, we could have actually died because we didn't know that. But it's a good thing we knew how to do that. Well, there you have it. Two-step equations are everywhere. Whether you're calculating points, money, or temperature, you're solving life step by step. So the next time someone says, "When will I ever use this in real life?" you tell them, "I already do. I'm 2 steps ahead." Alright, I'm Landon, this is FEM, we don't just do math, we live it. Alright, and what we're actually introducing now is we're going to be introducing homework. Now, don't worry, this isn't traditional homework. So, these are the practice problems I want you guys to try on your own. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through the problems, and don't worry, because for our homework, there's no grades. If you get an answer wrong, we will review it as a group, because it's better to have B's and actually know the material effortlessly than having A's and just cheating using photo math. We want to make sure that everyone understands it as equally as we do. And we only give 4 problems because we want your time and your mental health to be saved. Which, by the way, we will be doing so on FEMH, which stands for Foundations of Emotional and Mental Health. You can go check that out too. I'll put the link into the description. But anyways, that's all. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.